Nearly 20 years ago, I landed in Australia as a clueless Canadian backpacker, guidebook in hand and dreams of the outback swirling in my head. I saw the postcard-perfect opera house in Sydney. I paddled through Byron Bay's waves. I snorkeled above the Great Barrier Reef, heart pounding with wonder. And when it was over, I crossed Australia off my bucket list with a sense of pride, as if I had done it all. But that first trip? It barely scratched the surface. And every trip since has proved one thing. Most of what people think they know about Australia is either completely wrong or dangerously incomplete. In this video, we're tearing through the 5 biggest myths people believe about Australia, and why they're not just wrong, but holding you back from seeing the real, mind-blowing truth. Stick around until the end. You'll never look at this country the same way again. Drop in the comments what you assumed about Australia before watching, and tell us where you're tuning in from. Let's see how far this truth travels. Starting off with number 1, Australia isn't just for beach lovers. Let's be honest, when most people think of Australia, the first image that pops into their heads is some sun-drenched coastline, surfboards, tanned people, endless white sand, a cold drink in one hand, shrimp sizzling on the barbie. And it's true, Australia boasts over 12,000 beaches. That's more than anywhere else on Earth. But here's what they don't tell you. If the ocean isn't your thing, you're not missing out. Not even close. The moment you venture inland, you discover a whole different Australia, one that almost no guidebook dares to show. In far north Queensland, tucked away near Cape Tribulation, lies the Daintree Rainforest, one of the oldest tropical rainforests on the planet. We're talking 180 million years old. It predates the Amazon. Here, you can trek through misty canopies, spot ancient tree species, and encounter animals that haven't changed since the age of dinosaurs. Head further south and the landscape transforms again. Australia is home to one of the largest tropical savannas in the world. Millions of hectares of wild, rugged, open plains where crocodiles cruise and termite mounds rise like alien towers from the dirt. Then there are the mountains. Yes, mountains. The Great Dividing Range stretches over 3,700 kilometers, from northern Queensland all the way down to Victoria. These peaks dust themselves with snow in winter, offering skiing and snowboarding, yes, snow in places like Thredbo and Perisher. So next time someone says Australia's all beaches, just smile and ask them how they enjoyed the snow. What kind of Aussie terrain surprised you the most? Comment below with the word jaw drop if this blew your mind. And if you thought Australia's landscapes were diverse, wait till you see how much people miss when they stick to the same old travel map. Number 2, everything worth seeing is on the East Coast. It's the traveler's default. Fly into Sydney, maybe hop to Melbourne, and finish in Byron Bay. Rinse and repeat. It's the safe, shiny, Instagram-perfect path. But here's the truth. Sticking to the East Coast is like watching one episode of a Netflix series and thinking you know the whole plot. While the East Coast cities have their charm, Sydney's harbour, Melbourne's cafe culture, Byron Bay's boho vibes, some of Australia's most jaw-dropping experiences lie far from the spotlight. Let's talk about Tasmania. This rugged island off the southern tip of the mainland is one of the country's most underrated gems. It's home to wombats that waddle past your campsite, glow-in-the-dark mushrooms hidden deep in the forest, beaches so untouched they look photoshopped. And the city of Launceston? It's a UNESCO City of Gastronomy. Farm to table isn't just a buzzword here, it's a lifestyle. Then there's Western Australia, which might as well be another country. Most tourists never make it past Perth, and that's a crime. Out here, the landscapes stretch forever. Red desert meets turquoise sea, and the pink lakes of Lake Hillier look like someone spilled strawberry milk into the ocean. Oh, and Ningaloo Reef? It's like the Great Barrier Reef's secret twin. Less crowded, just as beautiful, and you can snorkel with whale sharks. Without the tourist mobs. Want to see Australia? Don't just follow the crowds. Chase the unknown. Have you ever even heard of Launceston or Ningaloo? If not, drop a in the comments. You're not alone. But this next myth isn't about where to go. It's about what people think defines Australian identity, and they couldn't be more off. Number 3, boomerangs, dot paintings, and didgeridoos define Aboriginal culture. Let's get something straight. Australia is home to the oldest continuous living culture in the world. 65,000 years, let that sink in. That's older than the pyramids, older than Stonehenge, older than any empire you can name. But most outsiders boil it down to 3 things: boomerangs, dot paintings, and the didgeridoo. And while those are real parts of Aboriginal culture, they don't even begin to tell the full story. First, there's not one Aboriginal culture. There are over 250 different Aboriginal language groups across Australia, each with its own customs, spiritual beliefs, art styles, and even instruments. The didgeridoo? That's from Arnhem Land in the Northern Territory. Not every group uses it, not even close. Dot painting? That style originated with the Western Desert peoples, and it's a symbolic language tied to sacred stories known as dreaming tracks. It's not just cool art, it's ancestral storytelling encoded in visual form. Some cultures carve intricate message sticks to pass information. Others sing the land into existence through oral tradition. Some use sand drawings. Others hold smoking ceremonies to cleanse spirits and welcome visitors. Aboriginal culture is deeply tied to the landscape, and every landscape tells a different story. So next time you hear a didgeridoo in a tourist shop, ask yourself, does it belong to this place or is it just for show? Did you think the didgeridoo was universal across Australia? If you did, no shame. Drop it in the comments. We're all here to learn. Transition. But speaking of things Australia's famous for, let's talk animals and prepare to have your mind blown. Number 4. Koalas and kangaroos are the cutest Australian animals. They're iconic, they're cuddly looking, they're in every tourist photo and souvenir shop, but koalas and kangaroos, they're just the beginning of Australia's wildlife wonderland. You see, Australia is weird, in the best way. Because it evolved in isolation for millions of years, it's basically nature's experiment lab. According to the Australian Wildlife Conservancy, 87% of Australia's mammals are found nowhere else on Earth. Let's talk tree kangaroos. Yes, they exist. They look like a cross between a monkey, a teddy bear, and a kangaroo, and they live in the rainforests of Queensland. Then there's the echidna, a spiky little guy who lays eggs and produces milk. The platypus, a duck-billed, venomous, egg-laying mammal. Science still can't explain it. You've also got numbats, quokkas, those selfie-loving smiley marsupials, bilbies with their rabbit-like ears, and quolls, which look like adorable spotted cats but are fierce carnivores. These animals aren't just rare, they're practically mythical. Forget kangaroos. Australia is a real-life Pokemon world. Which animal blew your mind? Type its name in the comments. Let's see who knew about the tree kangaroo before today. But let's not avoid the elephant in the room. Or should we say, the spider under the bed? Because the next myth? It's the one that really keeps people away. Number 5. Everything in Australia wants to kill you. From the outside, Australia has a deadly reputation. Venomous snakes, massive spiders, sharks with teeth like chainsaws, crocodiles lurking in muddy waters. It's become a meme at this point. But here's the reality. You're more likely to be injured by a horse than any of those animals. According to statistics, horses and cows are responsible for far more injuries, and even fatalities, than snakes, spiders, or sharks. In fact, the number of people hospitalized due to kangaroo-related car accidents is shockingly high. Snakes, they're shy and avoid people. Spiders, most are harmless. Sharks? Attacks are incredibly rare and deaths even rarer. In fact, the most dangerous thing for tourists isn't animals, it's the landscape. Dehydration in the outback, rip currents at the beach, getting lost on a hike without enough supplies. So no, Australia isn't out to get you. But if you're not prepared, nature will humble you. The truth? You're more likely to get injured falling off a bar stool in Sydney than by any deadly creature. Be honest. Did you used to think Australia was terrifying? Type "I survived" if you're rethinking your fears. Now that we've debunked the biggest myths, what else do you still get wrong about Australia? Let's wrap this up with some perspective. Australia, it's not what you thought. From beaches to bush, from Aboriginal wisdom to unpronounceable wildlife, Australia is one of the most misunderstood places on Earth. The real Australia is deeper, weirder, wilder, and more ancient than most people ever realize. So if even one of these myths surprised you, imagine what else is waiting when you finally stop looking at the brochure and start seeing the truth. Hit that like button if you learned something new. Drop a comment with the one fact that shocked you the most. And don't forget to subscribe, because next time we're going even deeper into the places most travelers get wrong. See you in the next one.